What's going on YouTube? That's a Teasy here. Just doing another video. Wanted to show you guys something a guy left on my channel, um, or on one of my videos. I did this video almost a year ago. It's my Smith & Wesson M&P9 Custom. He was looking at some of the training methods that I have learned and that I actually did in this video. One being an admin reload and a press check. So I'm going to show you the comment he left here. It says, "You hit the back of the gun to make sure the round is in full battery. It's not an AR, very pointless." Now, this is not doing that. It's not pointless at all. This is something I've learned and picked up from the 3 years that I've been training with firearms. I haven't been in the guns that long, but this is something that I've learned and something that I've found to be very effective when doing an administrative reload with a pistol or an AR. You can, as for reference, I'm not the only one that does this. This kind of stuff can be found in various training DVDs. For example, two of the, most famous instructors out there from Magpul Dynamics, The Art of the Dynamic Handgun, they do this a lot in that DVD. The administrative reload and hitting the back of the slide to make sure that the rounds are in full battery. You can also find this in The Art of the Tactical Carbine, Volume 2, where they actually use this on their carbines, their M4s. And I'm just going to show you why I do it. Now, I guess he hasn't seen the DVDs, or he hasn't had the training to actually use these methods, I guess you could say. He just doesn't know. So I'm going to show you why. He's not the only one that's posted these comments. I've gotten a couple comments about this and asking questions, why do I do that? So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to put it over here. So just bear with me for a second, and I'm going to set up what I'm going to do. So let's see here. Let's get that turned around so I can see. Now, what I've been using for home defense is my Smith & Wesson M&P 45. Home defense, concealed carry, whatever it may be. Now, there's reasons why you want to do an administrative reload with the press check, and it's simple. For example, there are a lot of examples out there, and I'll give you two. You're getting ready to lay down, you get ready to cut the lights out and go to bed for the night. You keep a loaded firearm in your nightstand. Another example, you conceal carry your firearm. You carry it with a loaded round in the chamber. And this is something you would do before you walk out of the door. Simply going to take the magazine. I am going to use a live round. And the reason why I'm going to use the live round is just to show you, because this is what you would do if you were walking out of your door, or if you do this at night. So I'm going to use a live round and show you that it's safe. And this gun does have an ambidextrous thumb safety. Safeties do fail, we all know that, but we're going to keep our finger off the trigger as well. So simply an administrative reload. You would do this before you lay down, before you walk out the door, or if you're going to the range and getting ready to shoot paper. You load your magazine into the gun, you pull the slide back, release. Now, you want to believe that a round is in the chamber. You don't know, you can't see. Now, some guns come like this M&P here, comes with a peephole. Some come with a chamber indicator, which will actually stick out a little bit on the side. Those are good to use. If you want to use those, you can. But for me personally, I always want to be 100% sure. Now, if you look, you can see that there's a round in the chamber. But at the same time, that could also be a false positive. Something may break on your gun when you pull the slide back. A piece of metal or something may shear off and actually be blocking the round from being in the chamber. I don't know. Anything could happen. So you want to be 100% sure that that is a round. And the casing that you're looking at is in place properly the way it should be. Now, with an administrative reload, you can take as long as you want to. This is not a speed reload or anything like that. This is something you would do before stuff goes down, before somebody breaks into your home, before you walk out the door, you get carjacked on your way to the Quickie Mart. Simply pulling back on the slide and making sure that there is a round in the chamber. Now you can see that there is a round in the chamber there. Now you can release the slide, and depending on how you release it, this may happen. This happens with a lot of firearms. Now you can see that the slide has not gone completely forward. That's a bad thing, because a lot of people will do this and just reholster their gun and walk out of the door or put it in their nightstand, and then 5 minutes later somebody's breaking into their house and their gun doesn't work. Show you up here up front that you can see that the slide is not matched up with the frame on this pistol. Now for this pistol, the slide usually is even with the frame, or is always even with the frame when the slide is forward and the round is completely in battery. That little minuscule of an inch can be the difference between life and death in defending yourself. You reholster your pistol, you walk out the door, you're walking into the Quickie Mart, a guy walks up to you with the gun, demanding money or credit cards or whatever. You go to pull out your pistol to defend yourself. You see an opportunity to defend yourself. You don't want to give up your wallet. You pull your gun out. He points his gun at you. You pull the trigger and nothing happens. You get a mushy trigger, or you hear a clicking sound. And before you know it, you're laying on the ground with a bullet in your head or in your chest. So the reason why I do press checks is to make sure that the round is in battery completely, 100%. Also, he said something about tapping the back of the pistol and calling that pointless. Well, as you can see, there's nothing pointless about hitting the back of the slide. Simply tap the back of the slide. Now look, everything is flush. The gun is in battery. You've already checked to make sure that there was a round in there, and you know that your gun is going to work when you pull the trigger, or at least it should, unless you have unless there's something wrong with your ammunition. The gun should go off the way it was intended to. And that, that's just, there's nothing pointless about being making sure that your gun is going to work properly. It's the same thing with the AR. I've got dummy rounds here. I would use live rounds, but right now I don't have any. So I'm just going to show you here with my AR how this works. And it is safe. It is clear. You can see that there's nothing in the chamber. Safety is on. He said you tap the back of the AR to make sure. Now, I think what he meant to say was you hit the forward assist to do that. But there's nothing about tapping the back of the AR or the charging handle that's going to make sure that the bolt and carrier assembly is completely in battery. So, simply doing an administrative reload is the same thing that you would do with your pistol. You're going to take your magazine, you're going to insert it into your gun, you're going to pull the charging handle. Now, you think that there's a round in chamber. You can't see it because of the way you have the firearm oriented, but you just want to make sure. So you can simply take the charging handle, pull back, and feel to make sure that there is a round in the chamber, and you can feel it. All right, I know there's one in there. Now you go to release the slide, and sometimes what will happen with the AR platform is that the bolt and carrier assembly doesn't go forward completely. Now, what I think he meant to say is you just tap the forward assist. You just hit it a couple times, and even still, with this, the tight fitting on this, it didn't go forward. So you might need to hit it a little bit harder before it actually goes into battery. And these are just things that you want to check on, and make sure that your gun is going to work 100% of the time the way it's supposed to. If you know that all the parts in it are working properly, and the gun is working the way that it is supposed to. There's nothing wrong or nothing pointless about defending yourself. I know me personally, if I'm going to take this firearm out of the house and I'm concealed carrying and somebody's going to rob me and I choose to defend myself, that I defend myself and don't get killed. It's just taking the safety up a notch. So I don't feel like there's anything pointless about doing that. And I mean that's pretty much it. I do things in my videos because there's a method to my madness, I guess you could say. There's a reason why I do those things. You can rely on the peephole if you want to. You can use that, but let's just say, for instance, you cut your lights out. You've got your magazine, but you don't like to keep your you don't like to keep around in the chamber when you put this in your nightstand. You store it with a full magazine, but you don't chamber around. You cut the lights out. You hear something, a bump in the night. You hear some glass break or whatever, and you go to grab your gun. You pull back on the slide, and you go to rely on that peephole, and this is what happens. So, I mean, and it's daytime here, you know. Where's the peephole at? You can't see it. So that's where a press check comes in. You simply pull back on the slide, feel, okay, I know there's one in there. Let the slide go, and look, it happened again. Slide's not forward. Tap the slide forward. Now you know if you pull the trigger, the gun should work the way it's supposed to. So, you know, you can rely on chamber indicators if you want to, but they're only good if you're working in a well-lit environment. Working in low light, especially with peepholes, there are some chamber indicators that actually stick out that you can feel. They're usually attached to the extractor. Like on the HKP30, it'll actually stick out and it shows red. But at the same time, if you do that at night, you're not going to be able to see it. So it's just an extra step to make sure that the gun is going to work the way it's supposed to, if you're using the proper techniques in tapping the back of the slide just to make sure that it's forward. You know, I don't want any of my subscribers using my methods if they think that they're not going to work. And like I said, these are methods that I've learned. I didn't develop these. I'm not an instructor. I'm not certified to instruct. This is just stuff that I've learned, and I do it repeatedly to make sure that I have some sort of consistent way to make sure that my firearm is going to work if I need it to. So I'll cut the lights back on so I'm not talking in the dark. But, you know, for the most part, I mean, I want everybody that watches my videos to be safe. That's my number one concern, is for you guys to be safe when you're defending your family, your kids, or whatever. And it's the same thing here at my home. This is just what I do to make sure that there are no mistakes made if someone breaks into my home. I don't want to be on the losing end of a gun battle. And that's practically it, guys. But once again, if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below. Especially about the administrative reload and the press check and just tapping the back of the slide. You know, if you don't feel that that's necessary, then don't do it. I wouldn't advise you to do it. Don't do it. But also, if you're gonna not do it and you do that at nighttime with the lights out, you go into the next room, and Chris Costa said it best. You pull the trigger and it goes click. What are you gonna do next? You know. So that's pretty much it. You know, I hope you guys stay safe, and I'll get at you later. Peace.